I posted a video that I didn't think would be controversial, but the comments said otherwise. The precipice of the video was basically me saying that people need to read the room and not complain to me about their moms. And the comments took that and took a dead sprint with it in a direction that was the opposite direction of what I was talking about. Let's read one of them. I'm sorry, but just because your mom is dead doesn't mean that other people have to be quiet about familial struggle. I pray this kind of, quote, friend doesn't find me. My dad is dead. I have friends that have issues with their fathers. Never have I thought anything like you have towards those friends. I will always hold genuine, all caps, space for my people, end quote. That is the truth. Now, I want to pause and say there is so much fairness in what you're saying. And I actually agree with it. I learned something. You checked me, but I needed to tell you that it's not as black and white. And I am so glad that you can hold that genuine space at all times for your people. But you would be lying if you said you weren't putting your grief on the back burner sometimes when you do that, because you are. And that's okay. That's okay to do. But it's also okay on the other side of that to not put your grief on the back burner and to have moments where you can't hold genuine space. There is a flip-flop to each side, babes. This in no way is me attempting to negate what any of you are saying, because if that is what you took from my video, that is what you took from it. And I apologize. But I do want to give you some more insight around what I was attempting to say. A lot of you talked about how you didn't have moms that loved you and how I was not thinking about the people that might not have had a good experience with their moms. I have a lot of friends that do not have good experiences with their moms, and they do complain about their moms to me, and I do allow them that space because I get it. But it's nuanced things. It's more like dark humor, okay? For example, my friends will be like, ugh, my mom's calling me again. And I'll be like, okay, privilege. Nice. It's more trivial things like that, okay? Now, back to the comment. I understand. But what I don't love is just because your mom is dead doesn't mean that other people have to be quiet about familial struggle. I agree with that. But I also, at the same time, can agree with somebody saying that they are not the space for that right now. There's gray area in grief. And although I can understand and I can agree and I can empathize with the fact, or not empathize, but sympathize with the fact that you don't have a good relationship with your mom, that doesn't mean that I am the right space for you to be complaining about your mom. Now, if your mom is like a narcissistic abuser, it's different. Like, yeah, you can complain about your mom to me, but I'm talking about the more trivial things in life. Oh, my mom is nagging me about this. My mom's doing this and this and that. Say that to your other friends. Which brings me back to my original point. There is such a gray area with grief, and there's no correct way to do grief. So while you're saying that you hold genuine space for your people and you hope that this kind of friend doesn't find me, well, I'm in a space and in a time in my life where I can't hear you complain about your mom, and that should be okay, right? And I think that there's a balance between it, because I did say that my friends can complain about their mom and I do hold space for them. And I said that in that video as well. But as I hold that space for them, sometimes that space is being taken up completely by my grief and there is no space for them to come in. And I've spent a lot of time, and I encourage you to spend a lot of time to figure out what that looks like for you. Every day is going to be different. Like I said, and I will continue to say in this episode, grief is so far from black and white. And while you might think one thing, your friend might need to feel another thing. And yes, your dad is dead and you will always hold genuine space for your people. I get that. But there has to be some days where your friend complains about something trivial about their father, where you stop and you're like, okay, like have that trivial thought about your dad. My dad's dead. Another example I'll throw to you. One time I was in class. I was taking a class, a small class at a church, and the professor was on the stage and a call from his mom came in on the top right-hand corner, and he declined it and said, "I'll call her later." And from the crowd, I go, "What a privilege." And everyone laughed because they know my mom is dead, okay? Like, that's what I was saying about that in that video. I think that there is a balance, and I think that you have to find what that balance looks like for you between being selfish and saying, "This is what I need for my grief," and between holding space and allowing and holding other people's emotions, right? Like, finding that balance is a hard thing to do, and I'm still learning how to do that. Like I said before, there are days where I will talk shit on my mom to my friends because 'cause I'll remember something that she did. But there are other days where I am really fragile. And to be honest, my genuine friends know that. And I'm able to say those things to them to be like, yo, today is a day where like I can't hear that. And I want you to know that I am here for you and I know that you're feeling this emotionally, but I can't hold space for that right now. And that's all you have to do. And that's all the conversation can be. But there's also friends that can and friends that can't. One of my best friends of all time from 4th grade on, I sent her a voice memo today because she doesn't have a great relationship with her mom. And she does talk to me about her mom all the time. I have been there with her through that since we were in 4th grade. Okay. So I sent her this voice memo today. By the way, I wanted to let you know that I never, ever, ever look to my right and give side eye when you complain about your mom to me. You are the exception to the rule. You can always complain about your mom to me. And that never bothers me. Okay, love you. And her response?
I appreciate the disclaimer and I love you so dearly. And thank you for letting me know. And I love you so much. And I think you should get that puppy.
I was looking at puppies. My point in saying is, I think that the balance is communication. The balance between being selfish in your grief and holding space and being selfless, or maybe not even selfless, but maybe neglecting your grief, is communication. And I think I would be remiss to say I don't even think it's necessarily neglecting your grief, but it is putting it on the back burner to say, my friend really needs to deep dive into why her mom is being the worst right now. And right now I'm the safest space for her to do that. And she feels like I am the one that she needs to talk to about. That's okay. I can think about it like that. And I do think about it like that. But like I said, there are other days where that's not going to fly with me. You have to think about yourself first sometimes. I'm a firm believer that you are the main character in your story and everyone else is a supporting actor or an extra. And there are days where my main character syndrome comes out. I've sat with my grief for so long. And as I read through your comments, I can understand that you have hardship with your family. That is so valid. And I'm sorry for that. Truly. I have hardship with other members of my family too. So I can see that. But what I cannot see is you looking at your friend that's telling you that they don't have capacity for that and telling them that they're not a good friend because they don't have the capacity for your hardship. And the coin flips the other way, by the way. The coin flips the other way too. Because I complain that I cry about my mom a lot. And I have friends that sometimes look at me and say, "I can't hear about your mom today." And guess what? That's okay because they can. That is, you know what that is, everybody? That's called open communication. And not only called open communication, but open communication and also not being offended because you know the person saying that to you is not coming from negative intent. All everyone does nowadays is assume negative intent. Imagine what the world would be like if everyone assumed positive intent right off the bat. There are people that won't understand. There are friends, close friends of yours that will not understand. And that's okay. I talk about this often too. You're going to lose people in your grief that no longer fit with who you are. It's a part of it. So if you If your friend gets upset because you say, I don't have space for you to complain about your mom today because I'm feeling I'm feeling grievy, and they look at you and they say, you're a bad friend for that. Maybe it's time you're not their friend anymore. Maybe it's time you take a step back. Or maybe you stop and you pause and you're like, hey, why do you think that makes me an overall bad friend? Because I need to be selfish I need to be selfish today. That's okay. It's okay. Loosen the grips on life a little bit. Let the gray area come in. Like cliche coming at you live, it's not black and white. Not everything is black and white. And as I read through your comments, I think that you're seeing things very black and white. I'm here to tell you that there is gray area, and the balance in that gray area comes from open communication. My friend that I was talking about before, her mom isn't a great mom. I think that she tried her best, and I don't want to speak for her and I don't want to speak for my friend, but I think that when she complains to me about her mom, her it's different because her mom isn't a great mom. So I look back at this comment and I can completely agree with you that not having a good parent is different than my friends that have really great parents complaining about their parent to me. And that's really the point. That's where that point was coming from was I have friends that have really good parents that complain over trivial things with their parents or fight over trivial things when they're really good parents. And that's when you should read the room, right? If you have a parent that's not a good parent, complain to me. I am so grateful for all your comments. I mean that. And I'm grateful that this is a space where everyone can share. I learned so much around how to shift my verbiage. I learned so much around your stories. Thank you for being vulnerable and sharing with me around, like, maybe I don't have the best parent. Like, why would you say that? You're so right. That's my bad. I love you and I'm proud of you and I'm happy you're here. And I'm learning this as I go. Grief was a journey and I'm on that journey and I'm so grateful that you're on it with me. But be nicer to me in the comments on Instagram. Like, damn. I'm kidding. Say whatever you want. It's the internet. I love you, dude. We'll talk soon. All right. You know what's next. Love you. Bye.